What's up, everybody? So I'm back from New York, and I've been gone, a week, which is longer than I expected to be. But in my opinion, as far as the trust getting seasoned and where the origin is, that's done. So that part's done. As far as us finalizing the terminals up there, we're not done. Obviously, we got Brooklyn. But just so you know, this isn't over. I said we were building a railroad. Okay? Putting terminals in 5 boroughs is not build a railroad. Okay? It's going to take some time. So we're not done. Okay? We're just getting started. All right? So, I still have to work out the details of how to, now that we've got the trust to Baltimore, actually in Baltimore, now we have to connect those lines up, those terminals up, and then we have to get them connected to DC in the proper jurisdictions. Okay. And then we got to have that stuff done. Okay. So this isn't like we didn't finish. Okay. We just got a phase done of a multi-phase problem or multi-phase challenge. Speaking of phases, okay, there's some other things that have to be dealt with. We are finishing the artwork on the certificates because they have to be double embossed. That was the requirement that we agreed to with U.S. Treasury. Embossments are on their way. They're already ordered. They're already approved. Everything's done. So we're finishing the artwork so that we can have the certificates actually embossed and certified and everything else and sealed, double sealed or embossed. I'm sorry. So that's getting done as we speak. The other side of that is the counties. I want to explain something. I don't think I've focused on this because I've been so busy trying to figure out this process that, really seasoning the trust by going to each borough and doing this stuff. And one thing just led to another, and that's just how it played out. But it actually makes sense on what happened. So sometimes in this game, you got to roll with how it goes. You got to try and make sense of things that normally wouldn't make sense. But the initial package for the counties is out. I need to explain something. For those of you who want your county to get done, we have to use a trade treaty to get you originated. Our organization is built on a trade treaty. So the only way to get it up and running is through the process of origination, which is the same process that we had to do when we built the Brotherhood. And now we understand the process because we've already done it, and we've done it a couple times, and we know what our process is that has worked. So you guys need to understand something. For your state to get a convention to establish a territorial convention and go and do a territorial constitution under American or U.S. equity and U.S. general law and American canon law and American common law, you have to have 70% of the counties. Okay, you have to have 70% of the counties participating. All right, so do the math. Why is it 70%? Because it's 9 to 13 states. In other words, even if you're affiliated in your state, if you do not have 70% of your counties, sure, you can connect your own stuff. You can put your own stuff inside the organization that you have. But as far as having courts and stuff like that ain't going to happen. You don't have any jurisdiction. Until you get 70% of the counties, you have no state jurisdiction. And until you get, we're working out the details of how many in your actual county, but we're pretty sure that it's 70% of the veterans in the county, just the veterans, by the way, can initiate a referendum to set up a county constitution or a convention to actually put a county constitution in at your borough. So this is not over. Like, we're not done. Like, this is part of the process. This is part of the mission. And this mission has multiple layers that have to be built out and done. So, I've been gone for a week. Like I said, I've been on my thing. I've been doing my thing. People are buying shares. Like, the more shares you buy, the faster we go. I still have a lot of work to do. There's still terminals to set up. There's still other things that have to be done. And those, that's what's funding, me being able to do this stuff. So, you guys need to understand that, you're getting the shares, you own the organization, but to get it done, like to fund it and everything else, like that's how this works, because we're not taking donations. And it's funny because this is something I wanted to take a dig at. Like, you hear about all these corporations that donate like all this money, right? All this money, they donate it, and so-and-so $1 million foundation to blah, 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 right? You know how many organizations have funded this? You know how many? Right? Because we told them you're not getting anything. You're not getting any shares. You're not getting any recognition. You're not getting anything. You know how many? That's how many. Because there's no tax write-off. There's no benefit. They're not funding crap because they're funding it for themselves. It benefits them. There's no philanthropy. It's a lie, scam. So, on another thing, I wanted to put this out there. If you're a member of a church, an organized church, the church is a 501c3. That does not mean that members of the congregation that are by themselves cannot come together and create their own little council for themselves, their own little organization out of their own church that's not affiliated to your 501c3 administration. You can do that. Like, you're allowed to do that. And form up and start to build your organization through your church. That's completely acceptable. It's outside the realm of what your pastor would have like jurisdiction over. It's your own community council within the church, in the sanctuary. And that's what makes it common. So there's something to think about. But I just want to put this stuff out there. I appreciate the fact that I get to do this. It is a burden. I was in a tough spot. I'm still pretty banged up. My heel, I don't know what I did, man. My heel is funky. But anyways, so I'll be on Captain Kyle tonight. We're going to talk about some of this stuff. But God bless, Godspeed, and let's get this done.